Good afternoon, Diesel War Reaction. This your boy Juan Diesel, and I'm back with another video. This one's called The Truth About Forrest Gump. Gina represents the modern woman. Let's get started.
Is man the sort of man that would try to fix a broken woman? Is he? You can't put a broken glass back together. You can try. You may cut yourself in the attempt, but basically, it's impossible. Hello? Hope you're having a good weekend? A good day? This, of course, is Replicant Fish, saying welcome back, men and women. A topic and video I think you will both find interesting. But before I begin, understand, I am making points with this video. Do not take everything I'm saying as gospel, and yes, use a pinch or much salt with this one. I'm just making some points based on modern times, the relationships between men and women, certain men and women, with elements and inspirations from the movie Forrest Gump. So understand, I'm making some points, but feel free to elaborate in the comment section as to anything you disagree or agree with. I do not need you to agree, just understand the points I'm making. But enough waffling, enough fish waffling. Let's begin. The truth about Forrest Gump, Jenny represents the modern woman. Meaning, Jenny was a woman who much enjoyed her life, had a very adventurous life, but in the end, when she was broken and a mess, she found and settled for Forrest, long-time childhood friend, who had been in love with Jenny his entire life, pretty much. And yes, of course, you could say that Jenny cared about him, but she did not feel the same way, and she could not feel the same way. She couldn't. But before I get into that point, let me address the elephant in the room. A point some would say you can't overlook in talking about Jenny. Obviously, her childhood. Now, if you have seen the movie, obviously you know that she had a very horrific childhood. And obviously, that influenced her adult life. Reading from cheatsheet.com, while Jenny is not blameless in her actions, many fans of the movie overlook that Jenny's father was abusive to her as a child. From a young age, Jenny was trapped in a cycle of abuse and did not have a loving home like Forrest. While the movie is from Forrest's perspective, viewers can see how difficult it is for Jenny to break out of that abusive cycle. For a long time, Jenny does not understand why Forrest is so kind to her, because it is not something she ever experienced. And another part here to the article reads, a Reddit user wrote, she wants so much to be loved that she doesn't understand that they are taking advantage of her. That's why she's so shocked when Forrest defends her from harm. Why would anyone do that if what they're doing to her is normal? So in other words, that's saying that Jenny does not understand why Forrest is trying to save her from what she finds normal and enjoys. As in the party life, the free spirit, free body, free mind lifestyle, the adventurous, the fun, the spontaneous lifestyle. So my point is, how many women do you think imitate or emulate or are like Jenny in modern day times? And to add to that is the obvious element as to, not saying this works across the board, but the cycles of what some of these women are actually in. Now the point I'm making is, obviously many women out there don't have a case like Jenny, per se. But let's say to a similar degree, not as horrific, but to a similar degree. My point here with this part is the cycles. For instance, how some men would say and see that, well, these women are dating nothing but reckless bad boys per se, for lack of a better word. Very reckless men who are treating her like crap, yet she's very fond of these men. And then you have men that may from the outside look in like a Forrest Gump. And it doesn't have to be a man that may be slow like Forrest, no offense. But let's say a very normal, regular man may think to himself, this doesn't make sense. This woman needs to be saved from this. She can't see that she's continually going back to men that treat her bad, and it's making her life worse. But the point is, these men are trying to save a woman from what's normal to her. Now, obviously, being careful of what I'm saying, obviously, This is some women, some, not all, obviously, and there are many factors to what I'm saying. I may have to make a follow-up video explaining certain things to another level, but my point is, with so many cycles, continuous patterns and cycles of certain situations, infused with the modern free liberation, women like Jenny's are in a sense just going through the system, almost like a conveyor belt of women who burn themselves out. Now yes, still making point of what happened to her, but my point is, as an adult, one can seek to improve themselves and maybe seek ways to better themselves. But you see, the downside of modern times and what actually works against women is the fact that women are told that they do no wrong. So the obvious pattern that happens is many women go through this conveyor belt of the Jenny phase, the wild phase, the drinking, the drugs, the random men, the amounts of random men, and then later on, burnt out and broken, they then seek the Forrest Gump. If not, they then go to the Forrest Gump, who may have been friend-zoned for many, many years. The safe guy kept there just in case. The just in case man. Just in case. Call him Justin, second name Case. Just in case man. So my point is, amongst this waffling is, if there is a continuous pattern of Jennies, of course you would have many Forrest Gumps looking on, wondering why so much recklessness is seen as normal to them. Yet these men who believe that they're normal, and who actually are normal, don't understand that their normalness is boring to these sorts of women. Their normalness will never be appealing to these sorts of women until they get desperate. You see, the downside of what I'm saying is, in modern times, there seems to be many Forrest Gumps and Jennies. Not to the extremes of Forrest Gump and Jenny, but you know what I mean. Many reckless wild women, and many men over here looking on at these reckless wild women, wondering why these reckless wild women don't understand that they're creating their own paths. Some of these men make the mistake of trying to save the Jennies, thinking that they should be trying to save a Jenny, when they should understand they're seeing it from a completely different point of view. A woman in her Jenny phase doesn't want to be saved, should not be saved. A woman going through her Jenny phase is supposed to. Women that avoid the Jenny phase.
We got an ad, folks. Sorry about this commercial. Let's skip this shit and get back to the story.
And they try to seek more from life, regardless of what they've been through. Obviously, those are women trying. But because of modern times, women are just encouraged to be like Jenny. To indulge in everything and everyone. Indeed. Yes, Jenny was a victim. Yes, Jenny was taken advantage of. But the way things work with certain things is that many people that have been abused become abusers. And it may not be in an obvious way. It could be in a way of them finding the abuse normal, as in to receive it or hand it out, inflict it. But the point is, some men go in and date or try to date these women and wonder why it goes wrong, wonder why it doesn't work. And understand this, there are many reasons for why something doesn't work. Many, many reasons, millions of reasons why something may not work. But there is one reason, one point, a point not mentioned often enough. And this goes across the track to both men and women. But my point is, with this one, it's for the Jennies. You can't overlook the fact that there are many women that are too broken to date. And it has nothing to do with the men trying to date them. That's a point that should be made more often. Because you will never hear women say they like the crap. Because to some degree, to them it's not crap. To certain women, what they enjoy and like and want, that's their normality. Many that have grown up in an environment of recklessness, you can only expect them to be reckless. And if it's not in the nurture, it could be the further influence of other Jennies. As in how there could be women that didn't have this life, that may have had a normal life, and could have actually been a decent girlfriend or a wife to some unlucky guy. But the strong modern influence of Jennies the normalizing of certain things would make certain women feel like they're wrong, as if they're the ones not living the normal life. Understand this. Yes, there are Forrest Gumps from the outside looking in to the reckless nature of a modern Jenny. But wonder how many women that aren't Jennies are looking on at these Jennies, some feeling left out and not feeling normal because there have never been more Jennies than there has been now in 2020. So if Jennies are seeing certain reckless things as normal, and the women that aren't reckless feel abnormal, what's to stop them from following suit, following the crowd? FOMO, the fear of missing out. Go along with it. When in Rome, do as the Jennies do. Yeah, you see, whether Jennies are few or plenty, how can you tell a Jenny that she's wrong when the world is encouraging many women to be Jennies? In other words, focus, observe, remember.